elected as sheriff, what changes, if any, would you make to the department? Why? And how soon?
Certainly, and I know that I only have 2 minutes, but first let me say thank you all for coming, and I'm honored to be on stage with the other two candidates, and honored to be up here and worthy of your time to come and listen to my responses to the questions. What would I change about the sheriff's office? It's full of fine men and women, and first of all, I know one of the questions on there also would, this time of year, everyone who works for the sheriff's office gets nervous. I want to quell that. No one would have anything to worry about. One of the major issues that we have to have is we need to restructure our sheriff's department. The way it is now is fine with crime from yesterday, and I'm not. I was a huge fan of Sheriff Grubbs. We're from two different leadership schools, so there are some things that I imagine each of the other two candidates on stage here would do differently as well. One of the things that all of you know is I'm a huge proponent of what's called community-oriented policing and geographic-specific policing. And that's where we get the officers out of the patrol cars and we get them back into the community, back one-on-one, visiting with you, getting to know what's normal around your business, your home, your residence, your child's school, all of those, so that they can recognize things when they're out of the ordinary. So what I would do is require each officer, for example, to spend no less than 30 minutes out of their car conducting either foot patrols or business checks or visiting with the business owners. That's just an example of community policing. But what we have to do is we have to structure the sheriff's department in its entirety to where we can face the type of crime that we face today. Like it or not, as I said before at the country club back in December, at the last forum, like it or not, we like to consider Brownwood still and Brown County still a small county, but we have big city crime, and I think we all know that. All we have to do is look in the paper and we see it. So we have to adjust our techniques, we have to adjust our philosophy, and we have to adjust our attitude to where we can compete against the scale of crime that we're dealing with today. Otherwise, we're just putting our fingers in the dike. We're not actually fixing the problem. Thank you. I was wondering where the flag was. I didn't realize you were in the back.
Thank you. Can y'all hear me okay? As far as any changes that's going to be made if I'm elected, I feel like that those changes has already been made. This past September, I was promoted to chief deputy. After that promotion, we give our patrol deputies discretion. They had no discretion at the time, so we give that discretion back to them. And what I mean is, we're not demanding them to make arrests when there's small offenses. They have the discretion to determine if that arrest needs to be made. For instance, if you have a 17-year-old that's committing a Class B or Class A misdemeanor, there's other options than just putting that kiddo in jail. So they have the discretion. Another thing we worked on is our attitude. We had a little bit of a sour attitude towards some issues, so we did work on that. Another thing that I did is we put the patrol deputies back in the counties. I know that you see the Brown County Sheriff's Department stopping cars within the city limits of, say, Brownwood, but ladies and gentlemen, we can't put our blinders on when we're driving through Brownwood coming from North Lake going to Brook Smith. If there's a violation, we're going to be doing that. And one thing also is we're big on criminal interdiction. We make lots of traffic stops, not to write tickets, but to look for sex offenders, to look for burglars, to look at things of that nature. So thank you very much.
Good evening. I do want to thank everyone for coming out. I am Billy Bloom, and the very first thing as your next sheriff that I would implement is we're going to increase patrol back into the county, where the county residents, the sheriff's office is their sole source of law enforcement. We want them back on the county roads, back in the subdivisions, back in the neighborhoods. All right, I did pick up the budget last fall for the sole purpose of seeing how the monies were allocated. Nothing was wrong or illegal. I don't mean that at all. What I'm talking about is where can we better use our resources within the budget for the sheriff's office that's going to benefit the residents in the county and the citizens of Brown County. With that, I would want to go in. We want to talk to everyone in the sheriff's office. We want to get their ideas how we can better serve the citizens of Brown County. So my response, the very first thing, is patrol. increase it back into the county. We're going to have a crime prevention unit to teach our citizens to be less of a victim. And this unit is going to focus on the needs of our senior citizens as well as our youth. Again, that's within the budget. Thank you.